Most business owners think clients leave because of price or even competition. In 9 out of 10 cases that I audit, they leave because of bad onboarding. And what does this really say? Something we've always known all along, that first impressions really do matter. These bad first impressions is caused by broken systems, disconnected tools, and clunky processes that frustrate your clients before you ever have a chance to show them your true value. And the fact is, you cannot fix bad onboarding by hiring friendlier staff or sending nicer emails because the trust is already lost. So what we need to do is we need to fix the tech and system foundations underneath, and these are what I call your business infrastructure pillars. There are 4 of them. The first one is software integrations, your tools talking to each other, and that eliminates client friction when they're moving from your marketing to your sales, to your service delivery, and even to support, because chances are you have 4 different tools doing those different tasks. The second one is data quality. So if you're missing or you have messy information in the back end, then that means that you're going to have delayed delivery. You're going to have a poor client experience because they've already given you the information, but your data infrastructure is not actually set up so that you know what's going on when it's going on. The third one is workflow efficiency. So does your team have bottleneck constraints? Meaning, like, there's only so many hours in the day. So are they in back-to-back meetings all day? So when a client has a quick question, there's no one to answer these questions because your team is bottlenecked at how they do their work. And if your team is asked to do repetitive manual work, and that creates onboarding chaos, because once the sale is done, that's when the work begins. And if your client spent the money and they're not feeling the trust or they're not feeling the value, that's really killing your client retention and the lifetime value of that customer. So workflow efficiency is something that you can easily fix, and not only does it make your clients happier, it makes your team happier too. So the fourth one is user experience simplicity. Now this goes on both ends, because if you have a confusing client portal or forms or that creates, confusion or frustration, then you're overwhelming your client before they even get started with you. And the same goes for your internal team. If you make how they do their work harder than the work they're actually doing, they're going to resist doing the work. And so by creating a simple and easy to use user interface, whether it's for the client or for your internal team, this is going to be your secret to success with getting people through from marketing to sales to service to delivery to support if they need it. And they're going to thank you for it at the end because the experience of it was actually enjoyable along the way. Now, a really easy example of this is what happens when people sign up for online courses. Now, I don't know if you know this, but the completion rate for online courses is like really, really low. The average, I believe, is like 30 or 40%. And these are the people who just complete it, which means that you have not only a lot of clients that are buying your course, but not completing it, not getting the results, not giving you testimonials for you to later give back to prospective clients saying, hey, look, our stuff really works. The fact is they're not even doing the course. They're never even actually getting a chance to have those results. And so I worked with somebody who had an online course that was a great online course, but people weren't completing it. And so what we did was we integrated a better onboarding process for when the client first signed up for the course and integrated milestone checkpoints so the person actually felt like they were making progress, because any transformation, nothing happens overnight. So you have to create this transformation for your client so that they actually feel like they're making some progress. So we implemented a milestone completion, like every checkpoint, they got a recognition for actually getting to that point in the transformation process. And he saw a 30% increase in his actual completion rate. So that is just a very simple example. Here is how you're going to audit your current technical setup, your current onboarding process, whether that is for a service, whether that is for a product, whether it's for an online course, it really doesn't matter. Here are 4 steps to you actually getting a better onboarding process today, not tomorrow, today. So the first thing you need to do is you need to map out your onboarding path. Like, what is the customer journey? And this goes from when the client first pays to their first success moment, because this is the most important part of any customer journey. Them actually getting to their first win is the make or break of any business. So I personally say to use paper and pen. Everybody likes to use technology to map these things out, creating flowcharts and whatnot. That's cool. But if you're using technology, sometimes what that can do to people is it can make them think a little more like a robot and a little less like a human. And so if you actually use paper, it forces you to think, okay, what does this human need next? Okay, so how are we going to facilitate that? And then that answer usually involves tech. But when you take the technology out of it, when you're assessing it, I promise you, you're going to come up with a better answer, because you're not going to be thinking in terms of technology, in terms of computers. You're going to actually be thinking about what the human on the other side of your purchase really needs in that moment. Does it need to be an email? Does it need to be a form? Does it need to be that? That can all come afterward. What you really need to do is figure out what they need to get their first win. So what information do you need from them to get that win? What do they need to, what are the action steps they need to take to get that first win? All of that happens as a human, not as a computer. The second one is you need to figure out where your data or your tasks get stuck. And this is going to identify your weakest pillar. But you aren't going to know where everything gets stuck unless you're actually willing to talk to the folks that complain about when things get stuck. So the easiest way to do this is to talk to your team, or even go through your support tickets, because your support tickets are going to be a way for you to realize where customers are getting stuck. It's going to be a way to figure out which technology is clunky and getting stuck along the way. But most importantly, if you do talk to your service team, they're going to tell you what clients are frequently asking questions about. They're going to tell you what's hard about what they have to do, where the bottlenecks are in your current workflow. And based on whatever that answer is, that's going to tell you which of those 4 pillars I told you about is your weakest. And the third one is you're going to be asking, what is causing the frustration? Is it the tech? Is it the data? Is it the process? Or is it the experience? Of course, number 2 is going to lead directly into number 3. But the reality of number 3 is people are normally not as excited to hear the complaining. But I will tell you, on the other side of those frustrations is not only a solution that makes everybody happier, it's actually something that's going to return time and money into your pocket, because if you make your client experience better, you're going to have a higher LTV, you're going to have a higher client retention rate. If you make your internal team's job easier, then they're going to have time to make more sales, serve more clients, get more leads, support more tickets. I promise you that while listening to complaining is really not the best task, quite literally put time and money back into your pocket and into your business. So the fourth one is assigning the pillar that is most broken and that you need to address first. Now, I did actually make something for you guys. It's free. You don't have to talk to me at all. You can go, just put your information in, and you're going to automatically get assessed on which of these 4 pillars, your software, your data, your workflows, or your user experience, is your biggest bottleneck. And if you're not sure, this is going to tell you exactly which one it is. And I call this a tech health scorecard. So you're going to it's like a 5-minute assessment. You're going to answer questions in these different areas, and based on your answers, you're going to get a tech health score. And one thing I will say is every business I work with, they are always surprised at how much just fixing one process can help their business. I helped a business once fix an invoicing process that not only returned over 300 hours a year, but almost $20,000 in salary annually. So when you look at that, like, okay, yeah, we fixed one process, one workflow in their business, but the payback for it, the ROI, was absolutely nuts. But without identifying where the struggle was coming from and properly diagnosing it, you're just throwing spaghetti at the wall. So click the link below to get your free tech health score so that you can know which is your weakest pillar and where to start to actually improving your business. I'm the Business Cowgirl, and I help you wrangle your tech chaos before it bucks off your clients. So I'll see you guys on the next one.